knows she knows how to draw all the characters here too. So don't be afraid. Just raise your hand nice and high. She'll be glad to help you as soon as she can. But now, on to our character. We'll be drawing someone from Big Hero 6. He knows how to fight. Yeah, you read my mind. We're drawing Baymax. Do you have any Big Hero 6 fans out there? Yay! Yeah, it's so awesome, right? But I'm also wondering, is this anyone's very first time at the Animation Academy?
Oh,
Everyone's like, oh no, oh yeah, represent, awesome, welcome, and welcome back, returning artists. Those who are new, you might want to check out the insert pencils because they don't have one thing. What is that? Yeah, no erasers. You won't need it though. But we'll just want to stick with our very light, loose, sort of sketchy lines. And then you want to gradually pick your favorite ones and darken those up to sort of have your final sketch of Baymax. Does that sound good? Great. And so those who have come to our classes before, we usually just draw like a portrait of our character. But if we just drew the portrait of Baymax, it would take like 2 seconds, right? So you all have the privilege of just drawing his entire body. So I encourage you all, if you want to like flip your boards towards like vertically, you might have more space to draw like his entire long body, but you can totally keep it sort of horizontally too, because that's how I'm drawing it. So we're just going to begin with a couple basic shapes for just like a basic foundation for his body. And I'm going to start off with the top portion of his torso and just draw sort of like a small circle, maybe about the size of like a little tangerine. I'm just going to lightly sketch that circle on in. And then sort of for his head, it'll be about the size of like a grape or a little kumquat if we want to stay like citrusy. And that will just be right on top. And sort of what I like to do with ovals and circles is just to slowly construct that shape, just by drawing a couple of those C curves, backward C curves, rainbows and U's. Whatever pretty much helps you just draw. But here we have another robot. We have BB-8. You can totally keep your drawing like this if you want to. Yeah, draw Ray, draw some circles, anything you'd like. But if we want to keep drawing Baymax, we just have to draw one more circle that'll just overlap this sort of a tangerine we have right in the middle of our page. So this circle, make it about the size of like an orange or so. Sort of overlapping that middle shape. And a good tip with drawing circles is actually to use your entire shoulder, because your shoulder already has like a natural rotation built into it. Instead, like if you just were drawing with your wrist, your movement is a lot more restricted, and it might be a lot harder for you to draw maybe those more perfect curves for that circle there. But this can look like a bunch of scribbles. That's what mine looks like. That's fine. But we just want to draw a couple of these guidelines to help us place and really ground our character. So the first guideline will just be one big vertical guideline that'll cut all 3 of our shapes right in half, creating like one big sort of like popsicle stick. And I'm just going to extend that guideline down too, because that really helps us show that divide of his legs that we'll draw in just a second. And then I'm just going to draw one horizontal guideline, pretty much just placement for his eyes, for his little lenses. So what we want to do next is actually just really connect these shapes together. So instead of having all these separate shapes, I'm just going to go right in between where those 2 circles are. Just drawing sort of curved line, making one big like pear shape. That's pretty much what his body is. And his character and sort of his whole like stature and everything was sort of loosely based off of a character from the 100 Acre Wood. Does anyone know what character that might be? Winnie the Pooh, right? Yeah, Winnie the Pooh has that big belly. They wanted us Baymax to sort of have that big belly too, and just be a lot friendly looking and really welcoming too. So the next thing we want to do is to add on his feet. And his feet are sort of like these little marshmallows, that's what I like to think of them, right at the bottom of his body. And he was actually, his walk cycle is actually based off of how penguins walk. So they sort of have that little waddle too, just like how Baymax does. So what we want to do is start right on that vertical guideline, just darken it on up about like maybe an inch or so down. And then from the end of that vertical guideline, I'm going to draw a couple of these U's from either side to get like this little fish hook looking shape there. That'll just be the bottom of his feet. And then from the ends of those U's, you want to just pull out one more of those sort of curved lines, going all the way back to his body there. Get one little marshmallow, and one on the other side too. And you can even see it sort of looks like Mater's teeth if you sort of just block it out there. Yeah, you'll see like a lot of other references to Disney characters throughout Baymax's design. So what we want to draw next is his arms, and you can have his arms being as inflated as you want. I know in the movie he sometimes that one time we got like all those holes in his arms and he was getting sort of haywire. You could sort of have him just be like loose all the way, just squilling out, or you can make him like super duper puffy, anything you like. But I'm just gonna start right underneath sort of that little kumquat and just pull this really big curved line up and over that pear shape till I get really close to his feet. And I'm just gonna pull like a big U-turn and curve that line all the way back up to his body. It'll just look like this really big sort of like J shape, or even like a really drawn out hook. You want to do that on the other side as well. Just pull that curve up and over to the other side. And like I said, you'll see a lot of other Disney characters here. If you sort of like cut off the little kumquat and the little teeth, you can see Eeyore. Yeah, this is actually the same sort of foundation, basic shapes that we used for drawing Eeyore at the Animation Academy too. But we'll also see his fingers here. Some of the Disney merchandise and even like the balloons, you won't see the fingers and everything, just sort of to help them with production with that. But I want to draw them on in. And his fingers, sometimes people can get a little bit intimidated by them because like a hand is really hard to draw because it's like a whole body in itself. But for Baymax, they're pretty easy. They're just one of these drawn out U's. So his thumb will be the smallest of the bunch, and that'll be the closest to his body. So you just want to draw sort of one U, just cutting into the bottom of that really big J. And then you want to leave a little bit of space for his pointer finger. And just draw a much longer U there. And right between his thumb and his finger, just draw on one of those curved lines just to indicate that space. But at this viewpoint, we will see a little bit of his other finger just popping on out. And I'm just going to draw just a little curve there. One little J curve. Just hinting at his other fingers. And I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. Just make one U. But for me, I like to have hands be a little bit different, sort of just show, make the character look a bit more natural rather than like super just uniform. So I'm going to have this finger actually be pointing out a bit more. So I'm just going to have it be flaring out a bit. And I'm still going to draw that little U to connect them. But instead of that other finger being shown on the outside, I'm going to have it be shown right in between sort of the thumb and the pointer finger. There we have his hands, and you can really just go back and lock in those lines, really darken them on up. All your favorite lines though. So if you think that one side of his arm got a little bit sort of wonky or a little bit too small that you would prefer, all you have to do, you don't have to erase or start over, just go over it with another darker line. That's sort of like the beauty of rough sketching. You can't really make mistakes. So, last things we want to do is sort of just finish up with his head. And so we can go back and actually lock in to the kumquat shape too. And then we want to go right on that horizontal guideline. Just draw a couple of circles for his eyes. 1, 2, and his face was actually based off of a Japanese bell too, yeah. So go ahead, you want the eyes to be the darkest part of your drawing. So feel free to press really hard on your paper there with your pencil. And then just go ahead, darken up that horizontal guideline right in between to make sort of that divide between sort of his lenses. But there's one detail that some people look over, and that's his little portal of his chips and data where he holds all of his like nursing, healthcare information, also his like crime fighting skills. So right above sort of where his heart would be, just draw one little circle. Yeah, Baymax! He's coming to life. And then the door of the port will sort of look like, some people think like it looks like a heart monitor or even just a Pokeball if you're a fan of that, you know. Yeah, but it's pretty much just like a little box, a little cut-off box there. And that's pretty much all there is for Baymax. If you want to do any last-minute details, you totally can. The designers didn't want Baymax to be one just solid, like, white character. So they added a couple of these like vinyl patches. You can't really see it on our figurine here, but there's just a couple of these C-curves alongside of his arms, and even on his body and his legs too. They just wanted, yeah, to give him more of a diverse design to him. And you can totally do that, but if you want to shade them in, I suggest not shading them in too dark. just because they are fairly light in tone and all of that. And if you want, you can even give him a Mickey Mouse balloon to hold, or even add in a couple of circles on the top of his head. Just to show Baymax is with us today. Extra cute. One other thing I like to do is actually add sort of like a ground plane. So I just lightly with the side of my pencil, just drawing a little bit of a shadow. It just shows that Baymax is a lot more grounded and also provides a really nice place for you to sign your name. So if you're all done, sign your name nice and proud. There you go, make your very own healthcare companion. How did you all do? Undecided still? Good! Yeah, that's okay. Did you all have fun? Yeah. You're fantastic. Fantastic. Well, I won't see how you all did. We're going to have an art show. So on the count of 3, whether you're finishing on, lift up your boards nice and high and proud, okay? 1, 2, 3, Baymax! Wow, these are looking fantastic. I'm loving how you all utilize your entire page there. Really good with the shading. Very cute with his tiny little legs. Liking all the shading there. Really nice signature. Fantastic. Awesome job there with the proportions. Really nice. Liking that shading there as well. Very good with the vinyl patches. Really nice with these details. A+ all around. Up top, how do you do? Fantastic! I'm loving all this rough sketching quality. Wow, I am satisfied with your drawings. I think you all passed. Give yourselves a very big round of applause. Good job! Well, that drawing is yours to keep. Go ahead, take it off your page right now, but I'm going to give mine to the cutie up in front. You're very excited to show me your drawing. Yeah, there you go. Thank you so much. I had such a great time drawing with you. We will be having another class in about 15 minutes. We would love to see you then, but if we don't, have a fantastic rest of your night. Class is dismissed. Bye-bye.
How about a great big round of applause for Rachel, everyone? All right, at this time, your exit doors are now open. They are the same doors that you came in through at the beginning of the class, just to your top left-hand side. As you stand up, don't forget to gather everything you brought in with you. Please place those boards just up against the seats right behind you with the pencils and the springs. That helps to prepare for our next class. If you would like to join us for that class, you do need to head out and hop right back in line, and we will see you very shortly. Now, if you want to